Hi everyone, I wanted to announce that I'll be releasing my first ever solo Bach album. So it's been a long time coming, a really long time if you actually consider when I first started playing Bach, and I'm so excited that it's finally all come together. And if you're wondering when the first time I started playing Bach was, well, it's been a while. This album is going to be the 3 partitas for violin solo. So the B minor, the D minor, and the E major. And you know what? It's actually a bit of an odd pairing considering Bach wrote 6 sonatas and partitas for violin solo. So they're often recorded as one giant 2-disc album or split into which might go best together. So you see this in Hilary Hahn's albums, for example, or plenty of solo recitals. Midori, for instance, coupled the B minor and the E major partitas along with the G minor sonatas and some modern works in one of her most recent recitals. In my take, I thought doing the partitas together and the sonatas together might be a nice idea. So partitas are Baroque dance suites. So it's interesting to see Bach's different renditions of many different dances and just how his approach to partitas shifts as he writes through this set. It should be mentioned, though, that even though these are dance suites, they're not actually meant to be danced to. The movements are more like stylized versions of these specific dances that get the general character and time signature of each of them. So in a French court, for example, the allemande is a dance with specific steps which coordinate with a specific time signature, in this case 4/4. But Bach's versions would be listened to by an audience instead of danced to. So a partita is usually defined as revolving around 4 staple dance movements. So we have the allemande, the courante, the sarabande, and the lively jig thrown in at the end. Then there are optional dance movements. These are also called galanteries. They're minuets, bourrées, gavottes, all the stuff that's in the Suzuki books, by the way, that can be optionally thrown in. So, for example, in Bach's first partita, the B minor, this is exactly how he constructs it. The movements are allemande, double, courante, double, sarabande, double, jig, double. And a double is a bit like a variation of each of these movements. Again, something I've actually only seen in this one partita and never anywhere else, actually, not even in the keyboard partitas. Next is the D minor partita. I don't want to call it the gem of the set because every one of these sonatas and partitas are worth their weight in gold, but it does include the most, dare I say, godly of the movements, the chaconne. This partita, interestingly, follows a basic construction down to a T, so no doubles here. We have allemande, courante, sarabande, jig, then chaconne, like a hammer blow, blowing everything else out of the water. I don't want to talk about this movement too much here because I want to give it its own video. It's huge, it really deserves it. But needless to say, the entire movement equals out to the other 4 movements combined, time-wise. I think I take around 17 minutes to play it. But it's such an interesting format this way, having the traditional Baroque suite and then giving over the bulk of the piece to one single movement. Then we have the E major. This one, with its very prominent first movement, might be one that violinists have nightmares about. Okay, maybe not nightmares, but the Preludio is one of those pieces that every young violinist wants to play and then realizes how difficult it is. In terms of structure, Bach has completely discarded the core movements of allemande, courante, and sarabande, although he still closes with a jig. Instead, he's given us lively little dance movements, all those galanteries, the gavotte en rondeau, minuets 1 and 2, and a bourrée, and given us one lilting slow movement, the lour, whose origins lie in Normandy. So it's interesting, at the very least, to see how Bach moves on with his interpretation of the Baroque suite, or partita, from the B minor all the way to the E major, and then onwards to the 6 cello suites, which were written right afterwards. Incidentally, each of the 6 cello suites also starts with a prelude. So that's a little bit about the partitas in a nutshell, and I'm so excited to be releasing this album on June 2nd. It will be available anywhere you stream your music from, so please take a moment to check it out. I actually more than a moment, listen to the whole thing, and then let me know which ones you like, which partita is your favorite. And thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to like, subscribe, and drop a comment. Cheers!